Dear students, this is Mother Tongue English 2. Welcome. This is 2018 Dppe as well as Djpe. Our examination based recording is covering 3 examinations mainly: April examination, August examination, and November examination 2018. Before we go into that, we should look at the following, and we should regard it as important. As I welcomed you already to 2018, I would like you to note that it is important to know that Mother Tongue Literacy and Development English 2 is a combination from 2 courses, Dppe, Djpe, and Djpe. It's very important as a student to know that because the 2 are combined, the content is combined, therefore you should familiarize yourself with the content from both courses. That students are coming and then they have questions, are complaining that they cannot find specific information in their study guides. This is just to let you know that when you do not find information in one of the courses study guide, it should be in the other. Therefore, you should know the content or familiarize yourself guides. That is from both courses, the Djpe and Dppe. The examinations as well as the assignment questions are taken from these guides or these course materials. Thus, I urge you to ensure that you are familiar with both. Okay? Another important tip that you should consider is to study your IOL study guide, which is very, very important. Study this guide well, because all questions, be it for the assignment or for the examination, are from it. When you receive your assignments back, please do have a good look at it. That are made by the mark. They are very helpful. In any case, read the questions carefully to understand what is asked. Many a times students give wrong answers because they did not understand what has been asked in the question. So read the questions carefully. Getting to the examinations, you should understand how to answer questions. Every examination paper is set in 3 levels of difficulty. That is level 1, 2, and 3. These levels are usually indicated by the specific verb that leads to the question. Those verbs are available in our study guides. At the very beginning of our study guides, if we all read, we'll be able to get to know what these verbs are about, what they are and what they stand for. Like I said, in the front part of your study guide, you will find a list of verbs and what is expected of you when you use a specific verb. You will have to study this list, otherwise you will lose marks with not knowing what to do. So pay attention to that. Also, importantly, do study. Be able to apply the following to different sentences. That is punctuation marks, very important. Capitalization, your sentence structures must be in order. Sentence construction, for it to be meaningful. Minus quantifier, as well as spelling, which is also important. Most important, and follow all instructions in the question paper. Before we get to the possible examination question papers, perhaps we have to have a look at what is it what the module or our modules, that is Djpe and Dppe, they aim to develop theoretical understanding, values, and competencies, to develop listening skills, demonstrate and explain the development of speaking competencies, analyze the development of and support reading and writing competencies, examine additional teaching and learning primary reading development, examine the teaching as well as learning activities and materials for language development. So in a nutshell, our course content centers around all these issues that are mentioned in this aims of our respective module. Getting to the examination, we are starting with the April examination. The question paper will consist of 5 questions. However, all instructions will be indicated on the question paper as it's given to you during the examination time. 5 questions should be answered. In cases where you find options, you must bind. Possible questions. Students should be able to know what are the items that may help children's listening development, how a teacher can identify listening difficulties in a learner, and the support that can be provided by the teacher. We also find different figurative expressions or idiomatic expressions, in some cases as may be referred to, as well as their meaning. A student should be able also to apply these figurative or idiomatic expressions in any situation. We find phonemic awareness skills that can be introduced to learners in wordplay activities. Phonemic awareness that can be introduced to learners in wordplay activities, as well as their examples. As a student, you should be able to also relate to examples of your own. Different learning difficulties that may be experienced by various learners in different school settings. Also, there are print conventions children learn incidentally when a teacher reads to them. There are characteristics found in children with auditory. To continue, activities that can develop analysis as well as synthesis skills, methods and materials that speaking and vocabulary. You should also know how, as a teacher, can help learners to make a book their own stories. Those are your learners. There are key elements of active listening. Different methods and materials to develop and expand spoken and reading vocabulary. So those are the possible questions of April examination. However, as a student is expected the whole content of the guide. And remember, as I said, both study guides, Dppe as well as Djpe. Moving on to August exams. Students are expected to know the following: to be able to define what shared reading is and how it benefits learners to develop phonics. What are the characteristics of proficient readers? Methods or activities that can promote speaking amongst our learners. The phonemic awareness skills. That you should also know the difference between phonics and phonological awareness. Of course, there's a difference between the two. There are various activities to motivate your learners to read. As a teacher in your class, you should know these activities and put them to work in order for you to motivate them to be able to read. Activities a teacher can carry out. The learners have understood the story that has been read to them, to monitor comprehension of the story by the teacher. There are also methods that facilitate development of speaking and vocabulary. Another possible question perhaps, activities a teacher can use to promote speaking amongst learners in order to test their speaking skills. Those are possible questions that we can focus on for the August examination. However, like I urged, let's familiarize ourselves with the whole. Moving on to November examination, as a student, you should be able to know the following. What are the communication skills teachers must possess to interact well with their learners? All this information is found in our study guides. Another one, basic skills for reading and writing. What are these basic skills? What are the public skills or presentation skills needed by the teacher? Also, as a student, you are expected to know the skills needed in order to develop and expand spoken and reading vocabulary. Very importantly, pay attention to all this and make sure that you understand and you get the answers. We continue. There are ways that can be used to provide support to learners with different hearing difficulties, speaking difficulties, or any other difficulty that may come across. So it's important that you are aware of these difficulties and what kind of help that can be provided by you as a teacher to the learners in order to overcome or to help this learner in your class to the same level with other learners. There are activities which can be used to check comprehension of the story during and after storytelling. Again, we should be able to look at how listening could be taught in the classroom. As a teacher, you should pay attention to that. You should know all that, and should this question arise, especially in the examination, you should be able to provide good answers. Lastly, on assess examination, take note of the action verb as we emphasized at the beginning. At the beginning of our study guides for both courses, please do read these action verbs. They will direct you in order for you to do the right thing correctly. Know what is expected of you. Please note, a teacher takes a hand, opens the mind, touches the heart, and changes the world. With this, brings us to the end of this recording. I wish you nothing but the best of luck with your examination.